AITA for telling my wife that pregnancy isn't an excuse? Trigger warning, mental illness, verbal abuse. I, 36, and my wife, 28, have been trying hard for a baby and finally got lucky with one. Although now that she is pregnant it seems like she is using it to her advantage. She recently adopted a cat, which I'm allergic to, and said, "Think of the baby." Or, "The baby needs a buddy." I gave in but kept my distance around the cat. Whenever I ask her to help with some chores around the house she always says she can't because of the baby. I tried communicating to her that I don't want the baby to be an excuse for everything. She began to yell at me screaming saying I have no idea what it's like to be pregnant and to get over it. It hurt me, I will admit. I stayed quiet and did everything she asked. I needed a break, no doubt. I cleaned the house every day, went to work, took care of the cat she wanted while she quit her job and stayed home doing nothing but watching TV and eating. I did her makeup for her like she asked, rubbed her feet, massaged her, but it never seemed to be enough. One day I asked her if I could just go hang out with my friends for a bit, and she got mad and started screaming at me saying that she needed me here. What about the baby? I was so tired and fed up that I told her to stop using her pregnancy as an excuse to get away with things. I cared about the baby, but I will not stand for this. She called me an asshole and I walked out. Relevant comments from OP. Before the pregnancy, we always shared chores, and I did everything equally or what we considered equal. We never had any problems with communication or anything, but after she got pregnant, things changed slowly, but surely. At first, it was simple things as she couldn't bend over and tie her shoes or she couldn't bend to a certain extent, which I understand, and I completely did everything for her with no questions asked. But as time passed it gradually got worse. She couldn't do laundry, she couldn't cook a meal, she couldn't vacuum, hell she couldn't even check the mail. Everything was practically on top of me. I didn't even have time to visit friends, or do anything for myself outside of getting money and providing for the baby/wife and cleaning the household. I felt the odds were mostly on top of me. She never contributed anymore. She kept using the baby as an excuse, or her pregnancy was an excuse, and I understand if she had complications with her pregnancy or if it was a high risk, but the doctors never said anything about her pregnancy causing any complications. Then it got to the point where I had to do massages for her and makeup and nails and buy her expensive maternity clothing because she still wanted to look pretty, and I understand wanting to be pretty because she might have insecurities. But again, I was taking money out to buy her all of these things that she wanted to look pretty, and they were pretty expensive. She wanted a very pretty robe she saw on TikTok that cost $160, not to mention that we didn't spend as much money on the baby as I would like. We only got the baby a week's worth of clothes, while your wife got a lot more. She's been doing things out of impulses, such as buying a cat that she knows that I am allergic to. I tried brushing everything off as pregnancy hormones, but it just doesn't seem to be that case anymore. More about his plans for the cat. OP, I just wish I could actually love cats the way people without allergies can, but sadly I can't. I want to give an animal I genuinely want all the love and affection and support I can offer, but sadly I'm very limited because of the cat, not to mention I barely have time for the cat. I want someone who can love the cat much more than I ever could to adopt him. He is a sweet guy, but just not for me, which is okay too. To a different commenter, shelters yes, but I want good quality shelters. I don't want a no-kill shelter to be horrible breeding grounds or anything else. I've never owned or adopted an animal, but want them to be loved and cared for. If people have suggestions to actual good animal shelters I would love to hear. To a third, and while my allergies may be minor, it doesn't mean I still want to be cautious around my own house or take other measurements. Personally, I don't see any problems with me not wanting my house because I'm allergic. Even if it is minor, it's still an allergy. I hope you see where I'm coming from. I love cats, don't get me wrong, they're adorable. They can be loving and kind, but it's just not for me, especially with an allergy, so more caution. Commenter, bro. She's pregnant, not disabled. Now if she was 8 to 9 mo, that is a different story in regards to pampering and house chores, but makeup. Get ready for a long ride, my dude. OP, the only thing about it was she acts like it's a high-risk pregnancy, that she can't do anything. She isn't though, and is 6 months pregnant. Not to mention that our finances have been going more to her than the actual baby. Commenter, going to her how? At 6 months the only extra money she needs are maybe maternity clothes, good prenatal vitamins, and some money for fast food cravings or little extras like that. We're currently 5 months and spending a ton, but it's all going to the nursery like it should. OP, well, for example, on TikTok she saw this cute maternity robe. It costs $160, expensive as hell, and yes, we spent money on a crib and a week's worth of clothes for the baby, while we got much more than a week of maternity clothing. Commenter, that hurts my heart. I love fancy things, but I'd never imagine asking my husband for something outside of our budget when we're prepping for a baby. You're spoiling her, which is maybe your way of trying to show her you care, but look at what it's doing. She needs a reality check. OP, I plan on discussing budgeting with her. Definitely go to couples therapy. Getting personal therapy and giving the cat to a no-kill shelter. If there's any other suggestions, please do tell. This is my first time during a pregnancy, and I wasn't able to read the book, or anything because of the fact that I have to do so much to provide for her, and the baby. What do you mean by you walked out? OP, by walking out I mean I left the house and went to hang out with my friend, but sadly the hanging out turned more into me talking about all the problems I had with my wife. Commenter, And as others have said, unless she's medically at risk in some way, there is no reason to suddenly cease all normal activities. Did you both discuss this beforehand? Did you tell her it was fine to quit working and you would take care of everything? OP. She also did not discuss her quitting her job, she kind of just told me in the middle of dinner one day. It's hard to provide for both the baby, me, and her alone, so I had to get multiple jobs. Makeup thing, OP. For the makeup part? I figured it was the right thing to do. She told me she was exhausted and tired, so I just did those things for her thinking that she needed it. Or she would appreciate it. Commenter. Is your post even real, dude? Why did she quit her job? Why would you need to do everything? I can't believe you did her makeup and all that after it too. This can't be real. OP. I'm not sure why she quit her job, but I can assure you that the post is real. If you don't believe me, that's fine too. But the reason why I feel I need to do all of this stuff is because she's pregnant. All I ever wanted to do really was to make her happy and make her comfortable during this time. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. Nor have I ever really been around people who was pregnant. It was a completely new area for me. Since she was the one who was going through all of this, I just went by what she said. I trusted her, and what she told me. But every time it became more difficult, more demanding. And overall couldn't be happy. I am luckily seeking a personal therapist now, and I have an appointment in a week. Update 1. I recently talked to my wife about couples marriage and personal therapy. She agreed that personal therapy was a must, as I apparently have been having all the issues in this relationship since she got pregnant. Although she said that couple therapy was not something she wanted to do. When I asked her the reason for this, she simply replied by saying, "Too much stress for me and the baby, why are you making this such a big deal?" When I simply tried explaining how other moms suggested it being good and healthy, she blew up on me again saying, "Why are you talking to other girls? Do you not trust me?" I am not sure how the conversation went immediately. I was adamant about the couple therapy as I wanted to see our child grow up together and didn't want our relationship to fail. To this she responded, "I'm afraid our relationship is too far from saving." I'm completely devastated about how the conversation played out. I'm not sure what to do, but she barricaded the bedroom door and I'm forced to sleep on the couch. I called my friend to stay the night at his place, and hopefully things will change in the morning. I'm sorry this didn't go the way we all hoped for. Relevant comments. Commenter. When speaking to the divorce lawyer, ask about custody arrangements and the house. Sort it out before the baby is born or it will be impossible to get anything, house-wise, fairly while there is a newborn there. You get on top of this, and speak to friends and family about how you aren't allowed to do XYZ and do all chores and housework. Tell them you are being abused and ask for their support. OP. I'll definitely consult an adult divorce lawyer, but honestly I do feel very guilty for what I did. I felt as though I was gaslighted. She kept trying to turn the whole subject around, basically blaming me that this was my fault. That I didn't do enough or I should behave better. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. I have never been around pregnancy and I hate to use an excuse. But I honestly have no idea what I'm doing or what I could do better. All of this is the first time, and I figured since she was going through it, she would be the most helpful person. Although it turns out it was the complete opposite. Commenter. In about 3 months, you're going to learn the meaning of unconditional love. It truly blindsides you, and there's no way to prepare yourself. Just know that it will happen. Her behavior will look even worse in light of that feeling because everything will be gauged by how it affects your child and their health, happiness, and overall well-being. OP, thank you really. Everyone has been such a help. They really opened my eyes about what's really going on. I just need to take some time to grieve. Definitely talk to a therapist. It seems that my relationship has sunk. All I need to focus on now is the baby and getting my mental state back in place. Update 2. My wife's sister went to talk to her, and she got back to me. Apparently my wife wasn't acting like her normal self. The way she described my wife was paranoid, upset easily and speaking nonsense. I don't quite understand, but her sister told me that we should definitely speak to the doctor about it. I'm afraid and fear the worst. I asked if I should come over. She said that might not be the best plan, and she will take a week off of work to help take care of her sister if anything was to happen. That she doesn't seem able to take care of herself. I agreed it would be the best course of action for right now. I'm not sure what to do now. I've never been through this before. Any help? Update 3. So I will keep this short but straight to the point. My wife went to the doctors and she has something called postpartum psychosis. I got the information from my sister-in-law. I've been doing my research about it as I know little about this diagnosis. I've come to ask for reliable sources and what to do. How can I help her? Any help is appreciated. Whether you've been through it, have experience, or just know anything about it. I thought postpartum happened after pregnancy, but this is a whole new concept. Relevant comment. Commenter. You need to get in contact with a doctor before she becomes a risk to herself or the baby. Call the damn paramedics if you need to if she becomes completely resistant to speaking with medical professionals. In DMS I mentioned how she might be suffering from a prenatal form of PPD/PPA, and I know you can't get in contact with her OB, but any doctor you speak to will be able to contact them for you if you know their name. There's nothing more you can do but get her help. OP. I'll definitely see if her sister can help me get in contact. Since she is there, I'll ask her to send me contact information and I'll call them immediately. Update 4. According to a lot of comments and chat messages I received, it's actually called prepartum psychosis, which I am very grateful for the correct term. As I was never really in the doctor's office when this was spoken, I was just referring to everything that my SIL told me. Thankfully, I have the correct term, which I'm going to be doing even more studying about this diagnosis. Thank you all for your support, help sources, etc. I also realize that I have a lot of typos, which makes my story seem a little unbelievable. Which is true, I don't blame you. In all honesty, I never proofread, so I'm going to have a lot of typos. Are you trying to fix the typos as much as I can to make my story seem a little bit more sense? But the typos haven't all been caught. If you also see some lettering spaced together, that's because I was trying to save as much space as possible to write, as I am only limited to a certain amount. Not to mention, because some of them are spaced together, and create a new word. So I apologize in advance. And I do thank everybody who has been helping me. Update 5. It's officially over. We got a divorce, and I would like to say how incredibly grateful I am for everything. The divorce and custody was a huge pain, but we got through it. I so desperately wanted everything to work out for the best, but there was too much damage and wreckage. Lots of stress and fighting. I will do whatever I can as a father to protect and raise my baby. Thank you everyone who has been with me throughout this journey, and I'm grateful to say, I'm in a happier place.